What's up, MechWarrior Online pilots? Wanted to make a video to piggyback off of Oldbob's video about how not all people in MechWarrior Online are bad. As in, they don't jump on you immediately calling you a noob, a potato, whatever it is. Oldbob made an experiment here where he made a Smurf account, which is he acted like he was a new person. He went into tier 5. He asked for help, and he pretty much got the help he needed. Hear me and Oldbob discuss. I said, you had a good experiment. Oldbob is saying right here, I wanted to show new players that the game has some awesome people in it. I replied, that's great because the forums, which he calls the tier 1 asshats, can be a bit salty. I recently posted some bad gameplay videos as a joke to the forums asking for advice. I was surprised 8 out of 10 comments were positive and actually trying to help. Hopefully, MechWarrior Online might be coming into the age like in past MechWarrior titles, where the community is realizing the only way to keep a healthy population is to help the new guys. Oldbob agreed with me here. And I've seen the forums, people go back and forth over the community. They say it's not as bad as the other MWO or Call of Duty or Counter-Strike. Well, it may not be as bad as those communities, but it could still be better. You guys are coming to the period of your game that MechWarrior 3 and MechWarrior 4 have also came to, is where the next game is coming. But in your case, you have MechWarrior 5 and Battletech coming. It has been shown on the forums that the game MechWarrior Online is not growing, it's just keeping players. And two things can make, well really three things can make the game lose players. One is the thing you can't stop, people getting bored of the game, moving on to the new games. Two would be PGI putting in a system that people hate, like Ghost Heat 2.0 or the skill tree. Something like that could really make players leave. And the third will compound off those two things is people just being real, as Bob calls it, tier 1 asshats. Or basically feel that they're the best, everyone else just sucks and needs to move on from the game, or just lay down so they can get some free stats off of them. From my experience, and I'm sure others have seen this, in MechWarrior 3 and 4, that's real toxic to your community, that makes people leave. We already know MechWarrior has a huge learning curve. I feel MechWarrior Online, the curve isn't quite as steep as MechWarrior 3. And near the end of your game's life, which MechWarrior Online is about to get into, you can really postpone that by being nice to people on forums, helping people out in game, and maybe curtail your mic abuse just a little bit in game. Luckily in my tier, in tier 4, I don't see too much of that. Sometimes I get somebody who's a bit salty on the mic, who seems to do more yelling than shooting. Usually that person ends up with mid stats, the low stats at the end of the game, and then he'll blame it on the team. But really, maybe he could have thought about if he wasn't raging out, he could have done a better job himself. One thing you guys could think about is there's a small population for MechWarrior and Battletech fans. We got a few people who play MechWarrior 3 like me online. a bit more people who play Living Legends, a bit more who play MechWarrior 4, and a bunch more who play MechWarrior Online. But I've noticed for the Battletech trailers and the MechWarrior 5 trailers, or just videos that discuss those games, that they get way more views than other stuff for MechWarrior Online. So that tells you people have their own preference in MechWarrior games. If MechWarrior Online is your favorite game, then you need to keep it alive by helping people out, being nice to people, giving good feedback. Don't just blow up on people with your mic or automatically downvote a thread because somebody was happy about their scores. Support each other, both in the game and on the forums, and you might keep the game alive for a bit longer. Here's a good example, besides what Bob showed, is where I asked, how does a locust mitigate damage, which locust doesn't really take much damage, so in a way it was a joke, but also asking for advice. Both here and on the subreddits, I got pretty much stories, whole storybooks on what to do. People gave me videos on what to do. It was really nice. No one really came in, called me a noob or anything. It was good to see. Just showing off. So hopefully you guys heed my warning. If MechWarrior Online is your favorite game, then be sure to do your best to keep the community a nice place that invites people to play it. Yeah, just some food for thought.